debates and decisions that are shaping our continent now in Europeans.
Diabate Dialimori is proud of his boxing club. He's trained 14 Swedish champions, 2 of whom have gone as far as the Olympics. But he's just as proud that some of his boxers are studying at universities or have joined the police academy. Diabate, also known as Dallas, runs a tight ship.
I tell them that as soon as they come into the club, they must speak Swedish. I'm not having 2 kids speaking Italian or Arabic together. No way. I let them know that we all speak Swedish here. Everyone speaks Swedish. And if you're not happy, then the door's always open. They listen to that.
Dallas is originally from Senegal. He came to Sweden in 1964 when there were few immigrants. Today that's changed. His boxing club's in Rosengard, a suburb of Malmö. He claims its population is 90% immigrant and reckons many are lagging behind when it comes to integration.
Everyone who comes to a country they were not born in has a lot of things to learn. So when the young people come here, they need an adult to show them how things work. And that's a way for me to introduce them into society, to put them on the right track, to teach them to be punctual, to go to school when they should, and to show respect. Because being a foreigner doesn't mean you're part of a homogenous group.
Malmö is Sweden's 3rd largest city and is symbolic of the country's ethnic makeover. More than 12% of Sweden's population of 9 million is foreign-born, but in Malmö, 40% of the residents are immigrants. And while other EU countries are tightening their immigration laws, Sweden signalled it will welcome Romanian and Bulgarian workers when they join the EU in January. It may be the only one. This is the Rosengard Bridge, which connects Malmö with Copenhagen. It's created an economic boom in the areas nearby. Yet it's also created a growing Danish population in Sweden. Many are married to foreigners who've been refused residency in Denmark. Louise van Theralis married her Turkish husband when she was under 24, the required age in Danish law for marrying a foreigner. Unable to get her husband permanent residency, they lived in Malmö while she worked in Denmark. Today they're both in Copenhagen. She doesn't believe Denmark's immigration laws will be relaxed.
In Denmark, it's us and them. There's the Danish people, like the white Danish people, and then there are the dark ones, and we don't consider them Danish. It's always them. They're always referred to as a problem. Where in Sweden they're more a part of the Swedish community, and people feel that I think that in Sweden they see it as their problem. If there is a problem, it is the government's problem to solve.
When Sweden held elections in September, immigration wasn't a key issue, but the results showed a national debate on the subject is needed. The far-right anti-immigrant Sweden Democrats Party doubled its support. Although it failed to break the 4% barrier needed to enter parliament, it won up to 20% support in areas near Malmö, where many residents blame immigrants for rising crime. Sten Andersson's a member of Malmö City Council. He says growing support for his political party means Stockholm must now take it seriously.
The other parties, they tried to silence us, so it was like we didn't exist. Then they discovered that even if they wanted to ignore us, we had strong election results. This now means that all parties and the media have realized that there has to be a dialogue with us, and they can't silence us any longer.
This is Malmö's Islamic Center. Much of it was renovated after it was destroyed by a suspicious fire 3 years ago. The rector, Bejzat Becherov, emigrated from Macedonia to Sweden in 1962. He opened Scandinavia's first mosque 20 years later. Here at the Center School, Swedish is of course mandatory. But he claims EU members need to realise the immigrants are an asset, not a threat.
Europe and the European countries have their system, and they don't want to open up to anything new. The immigrants who are coming here have to fit into the European model at any price, the old European system, and nothing other than that. We are working for integration and to prove that we who are coming from the outside have something to contribute.
The centre also runs a variety of projects aimed at fostering integration. Ayman Karlstein works for the Swedish and EU-funded development and partnership programme, which finds work for Malmö's immigrants. She says the city's a microcosm for the growing problem of integration in Sweden.
Malmö is a very segregated city, and I think also that a lot of people don't want to integrate because they don't feel welcome. They don't feel like Swedes, even if they are born and grown up here and go to Swedish schools. Both have to compromise because it's not a question of one group integrating into another group. The whole society has to reintegrate because there has been very many changes.
Every Thursday, these girls come to box at Dallas's club. He admits it was no easy task convincing their fathers to let them train. But for him, it's this younger generation which holds the key to successful integration by refusing to be isolated.
A girl can also be strong, not just boys. Girls can also fight. Many of the boys think we girls can't have fun or box.
Integration, it's about oneself. Plenty of people isolate themselves, creating intolerable situations. But I think it's very important to involve yourself in society, to become part of it, so you can make the most of your rights.
Dallas had hoped to retire next year. But he says that plan may well have to change, especially as the fight for integration could end up going the full 12 rounds.